guys, and welcome back. Welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies. And in today's video, I am going to be doing a slight review for a long anticipated movie of mine. Today, we are going to be talking about Phineas and Ferb the movie, Candace Against the Universe. Yes. Oh boy, so Wayne, ever since for this movie to come out, I've been really excited for it, for multiple reasons. One, I'm actually a Phineas and Ferb fan. In fact, so here's the fact. I actually don't watch a lot of TV anymore. Everything that I watch is literally on the internet. I don't even have a TV in my room because it would be a waste of time for me to put a TV in my room. I literally watch everything on my phone or my computer. But before I switched to nothing but the internet, back actually around high school age, Phineas and Ferb started airing. And yeah, I will admit this. It was for an audience a bit younger than mine at the time. But I watched just a couple of episodes here and there, and I actually kind of fell in love with it. It gave me the sense and the feeling of when I was much younger, watching shows like Scooby-Doo and SpongeBob, and oh, there's a list I could go through. Very Odd Parents. It had the creativity as well as the inspiration from those that I saw, and I just absolutely loved it. Which is why, of course, I have seen the entire series. It was one of the last shows I ever watched before I quit TV entirely, and the reason why is because it was actually quite good. Okay, so the premise, it's repetitive, but that's kind of the joke with the episodes. The joke is how much can they do with the premise and still change the entire show. It's one of the funnest shows I've ever seen, and it's definitely going down in my book as one of the best shows I've ever watched. A bit of nostalgia now for the show is telling me that I gotta watch this movie, And could this movie lead to a reboot on Disney Plus? That's the question. And from watching this movie, I can say I can see them doing a reboot, but I kind of don't want them to, Sometimes the best things in life come to an end, and Phineas and Ferb did come to an end, and it was a brilliant show. But as of the movie, I was very much entertained, and I even teared up at the end, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, this is going to be my Candace Against the Universe review, of course, but I don't plan to really talk a lot about the spoilers or anything for it. I just want to talk about the main points of the story, and as well as my thoughts on it. So, let's go ahead and get into it. So, first off, what is the actual story of this movie? And this is where a part of me wants to do that. A part of me wants to do this. And here's the reason why. Because just like with the SpongeBob movies, they literally are recreating the story from an episode that they did before. In fact, this one kind of feels like a retread of 2 episodes in the actual show. So there's this episode called The Queen of Mars, and Candace is, well, really it's a 2-episode thing. It's a 2-episode special. But basically what it is Candace is feeling left out. No, she's feeling insecure, and she's not really finding happiness around her. So that's when she finds a portal to Mars on accident, expecting to find her brothers doing something crazy. She goes through it, and guess where she is? She's trapped on Mars. And then in the next episode, that she becomes the Queen of Mars. And through finding herself as the Queen of Mars, she learns the lesson. She learns her lesson about how she does actually care for her brothers and how she's not inferior. And, actually, the lesson was about really giving her friend space, I guess, but so be it, it works here. Candace, Queen of Mars, is one of my favorite Phineas and Ferb episodes, by the way. They do actually poke fun at the idea of Candace always trying to bust her brothers, and there was another episode where Candace actually did bust her brothers, and then she went through the whole entire episode understanding that without her brothers, she wouldn't have a good life, and she would do wrong. And then she spent the rest of the episode trying to save her brothers from, in actually a prison. It's a really fun, goofy episode. It's a lot of fun. But by the end of the episode, she learns her lessons, and then, of course, she doesn't take the lesson to heart because it turns out to be a whole dream. So that's how they got away with it. But the lesson was still there. The lesson was still learned about busting her brothers and how that wouldn't help her. And you think that they wouldn't tread on the same line in this movie, and they definitely do. She's feeling inferior to her brothers again. And yeah, it's important for the movie and for kids today to understand that they are not inferior, but I mean, we've kind of already seen this kind of stuff in the movie. We've seen it from the show. So, in that regard, the movie was entertaining. The lessons are there. So I didn't really take anything away from it for me. Unlike the second dimension with the story being so creative and so different, I felt like this one kind of lacked in that department. But some of the favorite things that did happen, some of my favorite things is that we actually got a joke about Chop 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 Away From My Heart from Milo Murphy. I was looking for Milo Murphy cameos or references, and I got that right away. That was hilarious to see in the show. Another part of the episode that I actually really liked, which again is a movie, was the whole gift that Phineas and Ferb gave Candace, reminding Candace about the entire thing that she's done this entire summer, remembering about her brothers and about the good times that they had, her learning the lesson that she's not inferior. I did like that entire scene. That was fantastic. And then, of course, we get the awesome battle scene at the end where they try to save the world from aliens. That was a bunch of fun too. But I think my absolute favorite thing from this movie is the darn chicken. So, that was my favorite innayer. That was my favorite innayer from the show that Dr. Doofenshmirtz has ever done. And by the way, I don't understand where this movie kind of takes place. I mean, Phineas and Ferb, yes, it kind of does have a story to tell, and you can tell which points of the story you're at, but I mean, no, I guess it really doesn't matter. But obviously this is before the end of the show. This is obviously before Dr. Doofenshmirtz turns into a good guy. For some reason, they act like they never met Dr. Doofenshmirtz in this movie. I guess they forgot that they've met him a couple times before in the show as well. But again, nitpicks isn't exactly the biggest thing. They're just nitpicks, but my greatest thing, the best thing in this movie was the chicken and air. That was my favorite nair from the show, and they brought it back, and I thought, okay, how in the world is this actually going to be useful in this movie? And there was this joke with a boat as well, this canoe that Bruford is carrying throughout the entire movie. They actually played on that joke very well as well. It was hilarious. But my favorite part was definitely the chicken and air. The chicken and air! If you don't know what that thing does, it replaces something with the nearest chicken. It also has a setting to replace something with the furthest chicken, apparently. The chicken and air is the best part of this movie to me. It was hilarious. I kind of wish Jeremy and Stacy was more a part of it, but they weren't. Oh well. No Meep either. I thought they would reference Meep and reference the fact that she was Queen of Mars in one episode. I thought they would reference their space travel episodes. No reference to those were in this movie either. Of course, the greatest thing I can take away from this movie is actually the song at the end, which it's just hilarious because this movie was of course made before the entire pandemic, but now in this time of craziness, of course the most important thing is friends and family, and they sing a song at the very end that kind of goes along with that lesson and kind of reminds you what's important. And because of that, I was actually starting to tear up at the end of the movie because of that song. It really gave me the feeling that I was watching old Phineas and Ferb again. I absolutely love it for that. With that said, what rating would I give this movie? I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 stars. It was entertaining. I would give it 5 stars if it didn't tread on the same lessons that the show did. But with that said, I would give it less stars if it wasn't for the chicken and air. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know, did this show feel like the old show again? Did this movie give you the sense of nostalgia that you were looking for? Do you guys want a Phineas and Ferb reboot? Let me know down in the comments below. With that said, I am out. Bye.